I'm Goodchild, an associate professor of civil and environmental engineering and director of the SCTL Center, and I'm so pleased to welcome you this morning to our beautiful campus to the grand opening of the Supply Chain, Transportation, and Logistics Center. I'm going to come. We're honored to have you here today on campus for our grand opening celebration. The opening of this center is both a beginning of new relationships and research agendas, but also the realization of a vision built over a decade of transportation and logistics teaching and research. I hope you've had a moment to look at some of the posters that we brought in this morning that reflect some of the past work that we've done on freight and logistics topics. If you haven't had a chance, I encourage you to do so at the break. They all reflect research projects and associated academic papers. If you're interested in reading academic papers, we would be more than happy to share them with you. These posters are much more visual. The SCTL Center is the next step in my vision to build supply chain, transportation, and logistics education, research, and learning capacity at the University of Washington. Our region is home to some of the most innovative and successful transportation and logistics-driven companies, many of whom are represented here today. And our state is particularly trade-dependent. And students keenly look for opportunities to learn about this profession and this system. But accessing the talent and knowledge of students and faculty at the university can be challenging. And it's our goal to change this, to make the UW SCTL Center a highly accessible resource for industry, students, the public sector, and be the place to go for knowledge, training, and problem solving around supply chain, transportation, and logistics issues. We already do and will continue to grow our ability to do so by providing educational opportunities, hosting knowledge sharing forums, conducting research, and broadly serving those who want to connect and innovate in the supply chain, transportation, and logistics fields. I'd like to introduce a few of the people here today, starting with the SCTL staff. If you could stand, please. This is Barb Ivanoff. Yep. She's the Chief Operating Officer of the SCTL Center. We also have Katie Ward, who might be outside, our program facilitator, and Bill Keogh, who is the Director of Operations for the SCTL Master's Program. Also here with us today, we have affiliated faculty, Ed McCormick. Welcome, Ed. I don't think she's here, but Anne Vernet-Moudon is someone we've been working closely with. She's from Urban Planning and is Director of the Urban Form Lab. We also have Linda Boyle. She is Professor and Chair of the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department. Also present today are SCTL faculty who've been teaching in our master's program. Apurva Jain, who I think is arriving late from the Foster School of Business. Joe Heim, who's here from Industrial and Systems Engineering. And then we have some professors of practice, I will call them Dan Stull, Terry Castle, and John Dew, who I haven't seen yet. Oh, there you go. Welcome, John. The UW can be a difficult place to get to at 9 in the morning. I apologize for that, but it's beautiful once you get here and you walk the long walk from the parking lot. So John Creighton, who I think has not yet arrived, will be here. He's president of the Port of Seattle Commission and co-chair of the Northwest Seaport Alliance. He has been generous with his time with our students this summer and spoke to our most recent SCTL cohort about the Alliance and the port's role in regional supply chains. We also are very honored to have with us Beth Osborne, who I think is not here yet. is that correct? Representing Senator Patty Murray's office, Emily Whitman, who represents Senator Maria Cantwell's office, and Dan Gatchett, who I know is here. Welcome, Dan. Dan is chair of the Freight Mobility Strategic Investment Board, and you can ask him in the break what that means. Also, Congressman Dave Reichert, who you will be hearing from very briefly. We're very honored to have you here, and for everybody for giving your time to the center this morning. So the SCTL Center is built upon the success of our master's degree, which we launched in 2013. That program, which I developed with Bill Keogh, has 57 alumni and 58 current students, some of whom are here today. It's an interactive, largely online program for supply chain professionals, founded in methods and analysis designed to take supply chain managers and advance them to supply chain transportation and logistics leaders and innovators. And there's a brochure in front of you there about that master's program. The master's program and the center have been designed and defined in concert with our advisory board. We have an outstanding advisory board that Bill will speak a little bit more to later, but some members of that advisory board are here this morning, or will be here this morning. John Thielen from Costco, I think is not here yet. Steve Gordon from Gordon Trucking, also think is enjoying the fall colors on campus. Girish Lakshman from Sears Holdings, Alan Van Boven, who I know is here from Supply Chain Visions, Lauren Vandenberg from Nordstrom, and John Beal from Village Reach. The program's been running for 4 years, but we've spent probably 2 years before that designing that program very closely with the input from the advisory board. And so they have been working for us for 6 years in some cases, and have just been instrumental in developing a program that serves the industry and adds capacity to SCTL at the University of Washington. The relationships that we've developed with the advisory board typify the relationships that the center structure will support. Our students benefit from the expertise and knowledge of the advisory board. Our faculty benefit from that expertise and knowledge. Our board members benefit from access to research and innovation capacity. And together we build a stronger, more skilled SCTL community in the Northwest, promoting regional economic growth and prosperity. The SCTL Center will focus on research that are challenges that individual agencies or entities can't solve on their own, but require collaboration, particularly between the public sector and the private sector. For example, many of you are familiar or probably can imagine the challenges of moving freight in and out of an urban port complex. Fairly high volumes of trucks moving across an already congested network, competing demands for regional land use, different priorities of companies and stakeholders, even within the goods movement piece of that system. Ports are an area that we certainly continue to focus on. You'll see that some of our past research has looked at ports and intermodal terminals. We have very strong relationships, ongoing relationships with terminal operators, the ports themselves, shippers and carriers. But most of what you're going to hear about today is the first sort of cornerstone partnership that we will be engaging with around urban freight deliveries. Urban freight delivery companies must use public infrastructure to meet shipper requirements. That infrastructure is shared with numerous other users who have a variety of objectives. Pedestrians, transit users, signage. And as you probably are aware, the last mile of a supply chain is particularly costly. We are currently undergoing a complete transformation in retail behavior and delivery services are adjusting their essential logistics to respond to that. At the same time, the competition for regional transportation infrastructure is intense, and congestion is a major challenge. So later this morning, we'll talk more about our approach to addressing this problem, this challenge of urban freight delivery, and how we're bringing some methods to look for innovative solutions. I'd like to close by thanking Greg Miller in particular. He has had constant support for SCTL, our master's program, and the center. I'd also like to thank the small army of graduate students in my research group. Thank you. Who put so much of themselves into today and making my job thoroughly enjoyable. Again, welcome. Enjoy the morning. We have in our midst a collection of experts and innovators, and I look forward to hearing from some of you and over the course of the center life, interacting and collaborating with you. Welcome.